And it was blood, sweat, and tears from you guys just opening your Fit Republic in Southlands location. And, so many people came out to support. But here you are, you open, grand opening, February 1st, and then shut down. I mean, weeks later. Like, what the heck? How are we doing? We all right? Welcome to the Badass Dad podcast, where we are a band of brothers committed to forging stronger fathers. Hey, thanks so much for listening to this episode. This is being brought to you by the generous donations of the people who have made contributions at our website, which is BadAssDads.org, BadAssDads.org. You can also find some promotional shirts and other ways to support the podcast as well. But just want to thank you guys so much for your support. Enjoy this episode. Welcome to the BadAss Dad podcast. KDH here on the microphone. And once again, all the way from back on episode number 5, we have Kyle Gillian. How you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
And that is not the first time I've heard that name pronounced in that fashion towards me.
No?
No.
How did I pronounce it?
No, that's great. It's just ever since South Park came out, that's all I've heard in the pronunciation of my first name. But yes.
And then also joining us, business partner extraordinaire to Kyle, is Trevor Van Luit.
Extraordinaire. Air quote.
Air quote.
Yeah. Extraordinaire.
Well, hey, here we are. I kind of look at, Memorial Day was yesterday, and we were so thankful for the men and women that have served our country faithfully over the years. And so, much love and honor to those guys. But I look at that really as the kickoff of summer. So this is the beginning of summer, and what a unique kickoff to summer it is for us. Here we are. Are we at the end of the pandemic? Are we coming?
I honestly try not to think about it, because I find that's probably one of the hardest things, is just the unknown and not knowing where the finish line is or where we're at with it. And so I don't say we're still in it at some level. I just don't know at what level.
Yeah. And so, Trevor, for you, you're not only, business owner, partner and all this, but you're also in the educational world as well. Y'all's world has been completely turned upside down as well. And you're trying to navigate, no graduations, all that. You were looking for a 18-foot buffalo today.
I was looking for an 18-foot buffalo today. Still on the hunt for it. So if anybody sees an 18-foot inflatable buffalo with the Smoky Hill logo on there, please let us know. Maybe a gift card or something will come your way. March 12th, man, we got the news that we're shutting the school down for a couple weeks, and then it turned into more weeks and then months, and it's crazy. It's crazy for the seniors right now to not be able to get their celebration. Today is, diploma recovery day for our seniors, and it's going for a couple other schools as well. This is how we're celebrating right now: is you stay in your car, and we're gonna, your name's on the car, and we're gonna give you your diploma, and hopefully we can do something for them in July. But the education world is upside down right now. Online teaching, I'm with you. Hats off to teachers as well, because they're gonna have to create probably a classroom style management and online management, a little hybrid action. So they're gonna be doing double the work for the same amount of pay.
Wow. Well, I told Stephen before, I've got a good buddy of mine. My wife and I, our family, we flew back to Texas about a month ago and met with a good buddy of mine who's a superintendent of a big school district down there. I don't want to speak too much about it, so don't call him out. But he just took a new position of a bigger school district on February 1st. And he's like, we're texting back and forth. He's got, I got my 100-day game plan. And like 2 weeks in, 3 weeks in, he's like, well, that's going out the window. And so just to see, the upheaval. And, I wanted us to talk from a little different side because you guys, have, been friends for a bit, for a few years. You decide to go into business together, which there's some dynamics whenever you go into business with someone. And then, have your grand opening the beginning of February here. And I remember, you talking about, it's in the pictures of how much work you put into the floor.
Dude, that floor is our baby. Like, it is absolutely our baby. That's the pride and joy of that entire store.
And it was blood, sweat, and tears from you guys just opening your Fit Republic in Southlands location. And, so many people came out to support. But here you are, you open, grand opening, February 1st, and then shut down.
Yep.
I mean, weeks later. Like, what the heck? How are we doing? We all right?
Yeah, well, I mean, overall, we're and I try to do this relatively speaking most things because it's hard on everybody, and this isn't my first rodeo. It's my first pandemic rodeo, but over the years, I feel like you learn a little bit about life, and you learn that. And I'm always suspicious if things are super easy.
Yeah,
that's just if things are easy, I know something's about to come up, and so when this kind of all went down, it was kind of in slow phases, so it wasn't like all slammed up on you. It was just kind of like you hear about the craziness, and then all of a sudden, like, that craziness is like right outside our door, and oh man, the crazy dude walked in our door and said, now we're closed. Like, so we've been I guess vigilant, trying to think outside of the box rather than kind of sit down and wallow in our sorrows of like, oh, we got shut down. I knew you have to get creative and you have to figure a way out. I mean, I can't just call up the landlord and be like, you know what, this just isn't going to work for us, and I'm going to go ahead and just cancel that, that $1 million commitment I gave you for 4 years of tenancy here. So we got right to it. I mean, there was a day of like shock and awe, like, okay, what do we do? But you just got to get back up on that horse. And so we started getting creative, like super creative. Mm-hmm. Curbside delivery. We were delivering. We moved to shipping, anything. And that's not typical of a brick and mortar supplement store. Right. We obviously, our goal isn't to compete with online sales. We have to have a different angle, and our service aspect was what that was. But once this happened and we can no longer have people in our location, it became a different game. So, we try to make it fun in the beginning, and, like I said, get outside of the box, get crazy, do things that nobody's done yet. Yeah. And we were able to keep our head above water. We by no means crushed anything. Right. It was a big drawback because, typically you build things up, you have your grand opening, and then boom, you explode. We had perfect time. It's right before summer. Everybody wants to get in shape. Yep. And then boom, you're shut down. People aren't working out as much. So this need for supplements and stuff. The whole mental aspect of what's essential and what's not essential, just the inability to understand. All right,
I got to interrupt you.
Comprehend.
Because I know your location. I've got to interrupt a bit. So just to the north of you guys, I don't know if it's right next door or 2 doors down, Trevor, there's a certain large retailer there that sells a different kind of supplement. And there's alcohol, liquor store a couple doors down. How are they affected by all this?
We were together when I think the mayor of Denver was going to shut down liquor stores, and the panic of people shutting down liquor stores. It was crazy. That wasn't the biggest part of it. It was the herbal supplement store.
Okay. The cannabis.
Kind of catty corner to where we're at. Which, I mean, we looked out the window, and it was the line of cars was all the way out to Smoky Hill Road, and we're both kind of like, we get it, like the money from a weed store, a marijuana store, and the money from a liquor store that goes to the government. I get that piece. However, we fit the needs of essential people. We are an essential company.
Okay, because you guys not only provide supplements, but you guys are also doing meals.
Yeah,
like food, like real food,
real food that needs to be eaten within like a 4-day period, or else it's not good anymore. And we literally have the word essential written on 50% of our products: essential vitamins, essential proteins, meal replacement powders. I thought for a while we were going to still be okay because of just the technical aspect of it. I get it. I'm in the fitness world, and so like my perspective is different than probably the average person in America, but just the word essential and things that you absolutely need to survive, and the food aspect gave us the impression like, all right, we're going to be okay. Like we have stuff that people absolutely need, And we rode that for a while until the dude literally came into our store and said, well, vitamin and supplement stores are deemed non-essential now. And then they shut us down. And then we were kind of fighting our case with the food. And they said, oh, yeah, well, okay, I guess you qualify to be open. So it was a big, yay, yeah, we're back open, everybody. Cool, come back in. And then the next day they said, no, actually, you're not essential. And we shut back down again. So it's just been a huge roller coaster. And the only thing we could do is just kind of laugh at it, really, because it's, you can't comprehend it. And so you just got to go with it.
Yeah. And I want to be careful because I don't want to project on you the emotions that I have felt through this, but I would love to hear from you guys because I'm just thinking, I was there at the grand opening. Great. Place is packed. You're doing your thing. You got your giveaways. You're getting some people through the doors. You have the high hopes. You've been talking about this for a while. You worked on the floor, all those amazing things. And then all of a sudden, grand opening, and then you just get kicked in the balls.
Hard.
I mean, just, you're just kicked still right there. You're still feeling it. So I know you're going to give me the positive, great side, but there's got to be that phase when you were just pissed off.
Absolutely. And you go through your mix of emotions and you're pissed and you're venting, and you're venting to your friend or your business partner. And it's like, all right, there's a point where you got to stop that and you got to buckle up and get ready to roll. And that's what I love about Kyle is I didn't get into business with Kyle to just give him a bunch of money and let him go and have some fun. I saw his drive. So this doesn't hurt us. And everybody's going to say it doesn't hurt us, makes us stronger, all that fun stuff. You know what I mean? But it's going to knock us down a little bit.
Yeah.
But it showed people, his drive, our drive, and it's me as a person. I love our products. It's great, but the investment is in this guy.
Okay.
So if it's his vision to do this, then it's my vision, and it's slowly building up to figure out what we're going to do together. So we can sit back and we can vent and we can complain and we can do all that, and it's great to do that maybe over some vodka and an energy drink one day. But
yeah,
we're gonna like I said, buckle up and we're gonna get after it. And that's what he's shown me is that perseverance and that drive of this is the hardest thing. Maybe it's not the hardest thing that's going to hit us, but we're going to get through this. We're going to figure it out. And, thank God for him because he's pushed through and he's shown me a lot of things that, not only affect me in the business world, but the school world, my family life, all that stuff. So, like I said, we don't get into business, and you said it earlier, it's tough to get into business with friends, but, watching him work and watching his drive, it just pushes you to be better. And that's what I hope people see out of our store is that community drive, that give back, that influence that we're going to have, throughout our community.
Well, I'll tell you this. I mean, I've been in the business world for more than 20 years now, and I've seen businesses succeed and fail and, walk people through the process and everything else. And I think the number one, and I almost hesitate to say it because could it really be, but I really think the number one key to success is the partnership that you have. And, as I've counseled people through the time ago, make a commitment to one another that will never be down at the same time. If you're going to be down, then you better be up, Kyle. If you're going to be down, and it's kind of like if you both feel it, you go, shit, I got to let him, be down right now so I can be strong. And so, I just applaud you guys. I'm not huge into supplements, but I try to come in and just, buy some stuff.
You've been in there. We know you're there to support us. It's like, okay, what does Kevin want? Do we have like the lollipops and stuff for him, or just?
We're getting there. I'm in the works on some gummy stuff for you.
There you go.
No THC, but I got some gummy stuff coming your way.
I love it. So tell me a little, Kyle, how do you said you love the challenge. Is that just what keeps you going? Is that what that keeps you with that positive mental attitude?
That's a good, the initial talk I had with Kurt about getting in the store was, I've been doing the fitness gig. I've been a trainer and strength conditioning coach in the area, like more specifically the area, for over 20 years. And, it's been helping us get by. We've left it flexible so that my wife can continue to do her job and I can pick up slack where we need to. So I've never really taken it up a notch, and I've just been in sort of a steady staying state. And so the conversation I had with Kurt, who's the CEO of Fit Republic, is just, he's a big entrepreneurial type guy. He's got his podcast, the Blue Collar Entrepreneur, I think it's what it's called.
Cool.
But his question right out of the gates was, "What's your retirement plan?" And I'm the planner and the preparer and this conservative guy.
Okay.
We did the test you do before you get married, the counseling, and you ask like, hey, what are your top 3 reasons you look at money? And mine was like safety, security, future. My wife was fun, freedom, and like, so
and fast cars.
Right. So that's my nature. I want to take care of my family. I want to be prepared I want to have something bigger in the end. And, fitness, I love it. But if you were to say, hey, man, you're going to go plan for your future, you're going to have a retirement plan, it is not fitness. I mean, I love it to death and I'll always do it, but that is not how you make an income. It's very, very hard, and you definitely have to do it out of passion. Consumable goods are a much better business model than fitness.
Okay.
And the really great thing about it is that they absolutely go together. I mean, I sent all of my clients to Fit Republic all the time because supplements are essential. You need them for what you're doing. So, he got me on that one, and I was like, you're right. Cool. He'd been asking me previously over all the years. I was like, man, I can't do that now. I'm doing this thing right now. But the timing was just right. It made sense. I felt like I was ready for that. So we came up with the plan, and it tied into what I was currently doing. So I didn't want to spend all the years I had in the fitness industry and just put those on the side and open a supplement store and be like, all right, this is what I'm doing now, guys. My plan is absolutely to tie those all together. And being in the area and having kids now growing up in the school area, the feeling to want to be a community guy is increased a lot. Like it's a drive for me. I can't explain it other than I want to secure the area that my children are being raised in, the people that they're coming in contact with, the teachers that they're eventually going to have at some point in their life, just the feel for the community, and for the community to hopefully have some idea of who I am, so that they, if my kids are being knuckleheads, man, call Kyle up, like tell them, because my kids are not going to be like that. And if they are, you let me know, and, we'll gently recommend that they stop being like that. But that was just kind of the main drive behind it. And something like a supplement store, you contact more people than one-on-one training or even like group training. So it was just the next step for me to kind of get a bigger influence in our community, do something that I'm absolutely passionate about. It wasn't like I was starting from scratch with supplements. I mean, in the corporate world, selling supplements and stuff was a part of your job. So you got training on it. So there was a lot of stuff to get caught up on, but it made perfect sense. But now I had basically an office to work out of. And we were right there, and we talked about this a few times. I've been wanting to open like a small studio space for some time, and going back to kind of looking at the positives of everything that's happened, like it could have been much worse. Had I opened a small studio and this went down, I would be in huge trouble right now. So yes, the scenario sucks, but it could have been so much worse for me. So this has given me kind of a chance to like still stay in there. We're okay. We're just weathering the storm right now. But I guess kind of going back to your original question as far as like, was it a challenge and things like that? First, it was I need a retirement plan.
Yeah.
But the challenge aspect of it, yes. And people ask me a lot if I'm competitive, and I say no because it stresses me out. But deep down, I am competitive, but not in a fun sense.
Right.
But I'm always drawn to it. And again, I feel nervous if things aren't challenging, and I could feel the getting stagnant, and you're just kind of your expectations for yourself slowly dwindle if you don't keep challenging yourself. And this was just the next challenge. I like to win, but it's stressful.
Yeah. Yep.
And so that was the thing. I wanted to be challenged. I wanted to provide for my family. I wanted to get more into the community and something like the supplement store. And despite us only being open for a limited amount of time, I feel like we've actually been able to give a lot of stuff back. I mean, we're providing supplements to law enforcement and military personnel at super discounts. We've thrown in 2020 graduates. We've thrown in the athletes from school. I mean, you got these kids. Like, I remember being in high school and like your whole life depended on your athletic ability and stuff in high school. That was 100% of your entire world at that time, and to have that basically taken away from you because they shut things down. So hooking them up with supplements to keep them going, helping educate them, let them know, like, dude, you're not by yourself. Like, you got a community around you. We want to help you guys. We're offering a give back to the, what are we calling it?
So it's a give back program. So 10%. So think about doing fundraisers for schools, and that we can't really call it we can call it a fundraiser because it's raising funds for schools. And schools right now, our school athletic programs or whatever program you're in at the school, always trying to raise funds. It's a touchy situation right now with schools being shut down and not knowing what's going to happen in the fall with athletics and all that stuff. But Kyle and I developed this program to where, we're going to give back 10% all the time. So you go to a Chipotle night or a restaurant night, right? And they only give you sales from their profit from that night, which, you work your butt off, you're standing out, you're handing out flyers, you're not allowed to hand out flyers here, Too
many restrictions.
Right. Yep. And you end up getting a check for $100 for doing all this work.
Yeah.
So we created a program to where you're an athlete, you walk into our store and you say, we'll use Coach Buck right now. We'll say Cherokee Trail Wrestling, right? You come in and you say Cherokee Trail Wrestling, and we'll give 10% of that profit back to the school.
That's awesome.
I'm sorry, back to that athletic program. It's a little tough on our end to manage all that, but it's, once you do all the front end work, it's fine. So you come in from Smoky Hill Baseball and you say, here, so quarterly we're going to give checks to schools and we're going to drive out there and we're going to hand deliver them. So we're not going to go and mail it to you and say you made, $1,100 this quarter. We're going to walk through so we can show our faces and let those kids see us. So when they walk into our store, they say, man, Trev and Kyle really are community dudes.
Yeah.
And they're giving back. We want to do the same thing. This month we're doing mental health awareness. We're looking for a charity for that. Working hopefully Aurora Mental Health or Colorado Crisis or something along those lines. We're real heavy into law enforcement, so if there's a law enforcement mental health charity that we can give to, we'd like to do that as well. But yeah, I mean, it's all about what you're doing for the community, because the community's doing so much for us, coaching in the community. It's raising money and asking people for money so that you can play sports is tough.
Yeah.
But if we can do something to drive our business and drive, the success of those programs, then we're going to do it.
Well, I mean, the word that just comes up is just impact. I mean, you guys are wanting to make an impact that far reaches beyond the walls and much more than even financial. Just your willingness to do that. And, one of the concepts, I'm going to transition a little bit, but, we all have kids around the same age. My oldest is 13, and you guys both have daughters that are 10. And Trevor, do you have some others as well?
I have a 15-year-old son and a 4-year-old daughter.
Okay, so you're spread out all over the gamut. Yeah. Wow, I love that.
Because I wanted to spend 60 years paying college off, so hopefully one of the three gets an athletic scholarship.
It's like a mortgage. You just break it out, 1,000 years mortgage. Your monthly payments aren't that bad.
I forgot to tell you, I moved into the store.
You got a little loft in there. I love it. Okay. But, as parents, we know this to be true, that so much of the lessons we want to teach them, they don't really learn from us teaching it. More is caught than is taught. And so what do you think some of the things that your kids are catching from you right now in this season, where they're seeing, they know that, I said kicked in the nuts, they know something's happened, but they're also seeing the true grit and your fight through this season as well, and just being tough. So,
well, I'm a big person that and I don't know where it actually truly stems from, but I'm really against ever just being a a victim of your circumstances. You always have the option to put up a fight. You may still lose the fight, but you could either fight or just lay down and accept it. And if you lay down and accept it, you were absolutely going to lose every time. And with our kids, the way the store is, and because we own it and it's such a small thing, our kids, I mean, my kids are in that store literally 3-4 days a week.
Love that.
They get to see stuff. They get to see how mommy and daddy handle things. It's become an identity for our family because it is small. So many kids have the shirts. They know we do supplement stores. And it is the perfect time to raise them and show them that this is how you do it. Like, again, if something's coming easy, something's up. You could either do more or something bad's about to happen. So always being there, adapting. And honestly, I didn't know how this was going to work when all this stuff happened. I mean, I was deeply concerned with how the family dynamics were going to work. The kids aren't at school. All of a sudden, we have to let go of all the employees and cover 100% of the hours of a store that's open 7 days a week by ourselves. The wife working.
You had to cover.
Well, yeah. I covered a lot of hours. But and on top of that, you got to homeschool your kids at the same time, and so like the stress went through the roof. But again, you got to take that step back and like, it is what it is. I'm not gonna be able to do all of it. I'll tell you that right out of the gates, but I can figure out how to do some of it.
Yeah.
And we just start working with the system, and our kids and at least, my family and stuff, they actually adapted way better than I could have fathomed. I mean, I was really concerned, but I was trying to give them a heads up like, hey man, I'm going to be working every single day. Like, you kids are going to have to come with me. But, rather than, have them prisoners at the store, we start trying to get them more involved in like, okay, you can help do this at the store. We set the timer for the next 30 minutes. You guys are going to read in the back. Then you guys can come help. You guys can play. We've just, my family's had a lot of patience through this, and because of the hard times, at least I've been through over the last 20 years, I had a better idea and understanding of how rough things were going to get, and I feel like we were able to prep our families for it. So, typically if this had just happened overnight and we just started acting like this, it would have been really rough at our house as far as like, when are you coming home? How late are you going to be out? Kind of things like that. But everybody was on board, and the support at the same time was ridiculous. I mean, we lost next to all of the just casual walk by traffic and stuff, but the amount of people that cared about us, that wanted to step up and support us, went through the roof. And that's honestly the only way we've been able to keep our head above water. I mean, we had people driving down from Arvada to just get their supplements at our store, and they didn't even know what they wanted. They're like, it's kind of like you walking in the store like, I don't know what I need, man, but I want to support you guys.
Give me what
like,
I need.
Just tell me what I need to buy here.
Yeah.
So, I hate the saying nice guys finish last type of thing, because I've experienced it and seen it so many times. But this one instant, I could see how the accumulation of like doing the right thing over time and treating people the right way, which is all stuff our children get to watch and see how you are. You absolutely saw some of the payoff from that. And, our kids, I know since our kids go to school, we come across the same scenarios and stuff in school, and, the bad stuff that goes on in school, and like the bullying and the things like that. And there's a street gang in the school. They're called the street gang.
That's what they call themselves.
They're pretty tough kids, but I noticed this last year, especially more so with my daughter, she's gone to extreme both ends of the spectrum, like getting picked on all the time to all of a sudden she's super cool and almost bullying type attributes, and trying to pull back and find out where that median is. And a lot of the talks with them, I found, were just like, we absolutely understand that the people around you are going to be however they're going to be, but you have specific expectations and standards. And honestly, mommy and daddy expect more of you than probably a lot of these kids. So even though this other kid was doing it or whatever, like, you're in trouble because you knew you could have stopped that, and you knew that you could have done more. And I've had a lot of those conversations, but they don't happen overnight. But every now and then you get that glimpse of like, oh my God, it's sticking. Like they're getting it. Like, so.
They are, and they have their responsibilities in the store.
Lily's by far the most organizing, cleaning machine in our store.
So my son, he comes in, once every week and cleans the bathrooms. His role is the bathroom cleaner.
Love it.
We don't pay him because it's all life skills. So yes, we are paying him in life lessons. So he's our he cleans the bathrooms and straightens things up. My daughter comes in and turns into like Kyle said, this organizer, which is
I'm not even exaggerating. I didn't even know how to clean up half the mess in the back, and I went back there after Lily'd been back there for like an hour or two, and it was like boom, 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 boom.
Labeled, and you're like, what? But no, and having the kids up at the store is fantastic. Yeah. I mean, I just point something out for Kyle, and his wife said the other day that his daughter had said something to her about, Dad's stressed about the store or something along those lines, but always keeping us first. And that's huge, and you build off of that stuff and you continue. And I keep telling you, man, it's what he does, and he doesn't see it, and he's so humble that he's like, whatever. But it's the life lessons, it's the skills that my 15-year-old sees, and it's the work ethic. That's why you have your kids in the store. This is a shitty time for us, but what you're seeing us go through is hopefully you don't have to go through that. You're learning from our, experiences that you don't have to go through what we're going through, or how to handle it once this happens to you. So,
and their storms are going to be their storms. They're going to have some. And real quick for you guys. So when I grew up, my grandmother really raised me, but a lot of the crap that happened in her life, she didn't really share with me. So I didn't get to see so much of that. And I think and I do get why parents, we want to protect our kids, but I think sometimes we protect our kids so much and we insulate them so much that they don't learn that grit. They don't learn that toughness. They don't see, they don't see dad get punched in the nose and how does he respond? But you guys right now, you're living before them and yes, it's emotionally tough, but you're showing them how you get back up one more time and you get at it, get after it, how you pivot, how do you, we can't just lay here. We're gonna have to do something.
Right, do something.
Well, and my wife, she owns her own business as well. She's a massage therapist, and she went through and Kyle and I have talked about this numerous times. Is she got punched in the mouth as soon as this thing hit, because it's a hands-on business and it's close proximity. Yep. So you're going in and so she gets shut down. And then she loses her office building.
Wait, she can't do Zoom massages?
It's weird, right?
You take your right hand, put it on your left shoulder. There you go. Now rub that real good.
Yeah, if she could charge for that would be fantastic. But so she went through that phase of, well, I'm out. This is stupid, and trying to be as supportive as possible. Because I tell you what, man, she is very, very supportive of everything that I've done, and then everything that we've done together. She has been supportive, and she doesn't always let you vent. She's just like, stop, just shut up and get after it. So it's kind of letting her vent for a couple of days, and then get back to, all right, shut up and let's get after it. So you can't really deliver the same message back to her. Yep. But she's back up. She's strapped it up, and she's
good,
gearing up for an August 1st reopening, and she's going to do things on her own. But it's funny to see. You see Kyle's family doing the same thing. You see my family doing the same thing. Then they come together, and they're feeding off of each other. They're learning from each other, and it's cool. It's a very unique relationship. And I always go back to, you go into business with friends, and you're like, oh man, this is going to be tough. And there's times we disagree, and you're supposed to. I can't always be a yes man. He can't always be a yes man. He's gonna, and I think you said it before, is he's got to be, when he's down, I got to be up. When he's up, and that's when we're both up, man, it's the funnest day in the world. And it's 6 hours goes by so fast. Mm-hmm. Your marketing is better. You're just having a blast. But I'm there to support this dude, and he's always there to support me. And it's awesome. It's a very unique relationship.
That's awesome. And it's totally one of those struggle makes you stronger type scenarios. If things were easy, there'd never be a reason for you to change or evolve or do things. So there is that silver lining to it, but we're people too. And I could tell you for a fact, like the first 6 weeks or so when this all went down, I mean, I was ready for it. I mean, I was like, all right, I'm going to crush this. I'm going to be super stoked and excited. I'm going to go. But man, the emotional strain, it eventually it wears you down. And like, especially when you don't know where the finish line is.
Yeah.
If you say, hey, you got to struggle this and tough it out for 8 weeks, boom, I got it. I saw the finish line. But when it goes like 4 weeks, well, we're going to take on another month. Well, I know we said tomorrow, but let's just go ahead and go another 2 weeks. It kind of really takes the wind out of your sails. And I absolutely hit that point probably, 6 weeks or later where I was just tired. Like I didn't even want to be there. And it was so hard to artificially be happy and energetic, which is contagious. I mean, that your customers pick up on that. You can't fake it. And having this dude step in when I'm in those places was absolutely essential, because I couldn't, I didn't even want to go to the store anymore. And I love what I do, which it's kind of the double whammy kick in the junk, because man, you were destroying what I love to do. And so having Trevor step in and kind of and he, as much crap as I give him and as much as I try to get him out of my life, he understands me too much. And it's really cool because I hate explaining why I am how I am. Because most times I don't know.
Right.
And so if you ask me to explain to you, I don't know. But he gets me enough to know, this is one of those times where Kyle just needs his space. I need to step up and just take over, run the energy, run the ship. And he absolutely did that. I didn't have to justify why I was having a hard time, because, we've had that talk in the past. When you're the guy that's in charge all the time, who do you vent to, and how do you show weakness to anybody else? You can't ever expose yourself. But he gave me the time to put myself back together, get motivated, and anytime you get a glimpse of hope, it's tenfold. You could get bashed for 100 times and be like, oh, you don't need 100 times worth of positive things to get back on track. You could get one light of hope will completely eliminate that. And so, the energy was feeling super low, but he'll go hustle. He'll get some people from the schools he's with, or just some new ideas that that actually sounds like a good idea. And it re-energizes everything instantly. I mean, it doesn't necessarily show in our bank account, but the fact that we haven't gone under and lost any money over all this time is huge, I think, especially since we've only been open technically 3 weeks.
Well, you know what, and you kind of touched on a subject that is near and dear to my heart, which is just having a band of brothers. And obviously you guys have this partnership together in business and even outside of business, where your lives and your world and your families overlap so much. And just I've just seen so many times that isolation leads to destruction, for people. And it's the same thing in relationships, in business. I have been incredibly fortunate that I've been in the financial services business, mostly dealing with investments for 20 years. So when I first got licensed, basically my first year, 9/11 happens and shuts the markets down. Okay. So this is my only source of income. And I'm out there, hustling, trying to do things. And, and we make it through there. And then, we come up and we have a great run for several years. And then the financial crisis happens, 2008, 2009. And I want to encourage you guys with this to tell you that the single greatest growth period that Gretchen and I had in our business, now 20 years, the single greatest, everything that we have now came out of 2008, 2009, 2010. When everybody else was scared and shutting down, we were aggressive. We went after it. We prospected. We got creative. We pivoted. We did everything that we could, and we came out of that. And I remember where people quit. People, companies were shutting down. Businesses that have been around hundreds of years, on Wall Street, gone. And we're kind of wait, we're still standing? And a part of it was, I think we were just so naive and so dumb. We didn't know what else to do, but we were able to make it. So I want to encourage you guys with that. So I want to ask you, though, on your side, and I know it's a little forecasting, maybe a little vision or whatever, but how do you see your business, your industry, changing, and how are you going to be able to capitalize on it, coming out of this in the next, 6, 12, 18 months?
I think it was absolutely a time of evolution and growth for us. I mean, we're still I'm not talking in the past. We're in it right now, but
right.
I'm telling you where my brain's going and stuff. And, you're absolutely right. Kind of like you talked to me. And we're in Colorado. We're in one of the most fit states in the entire country. And this market here for fitness is completely saturated. And what this pandemic has done is kind of hit the reset button and kind of even the slate for everything. I mean, you have big companies that are having to like shut down, or because they're so big, they can't be as mobile and change how they do things. And because I'm so small and the CEO of the franchise, I mean, within a framework has given me whatever freedom I need to make things happen and make things work. He says, just do it. So it's a good chance for us to be creative and test out new things and get ahead of our competition. I mean, we're kind of coming in this late. There's places that are established, and we're not a fitness gym, so we're not necessarily competing with them, but we do offer fitness services. I mean, I've been able to merge my Fit Faction business into the Fit Republic business. And so because we're a service type thing, I mean, we got to keep doing services. So before, I mean, brick and mortar stores, we didn't deliver, we didn't ship really. I mean, you could ship from the website and things like that, but we didn't really do that. And I see going forward, that's a service I got to keep doing. I mean, why not? If I make an impact, and if I happen to make $1 or $2 on top of that impact, that's what I'm after. And if I make enough impacts and contacts, it's going to pay off in the long run. I have to believe that. Becoming more personable, I think that the benefit, and one of my biggest concerns, and I couldn't honestly tell you why it was weighing on me so strongly as far as a concern, but I'm a fitness guy, and over the years, whether I learned it or it's just how I naturally am, I'm empathetic to people and their struggles, especially if it's something that I'm capable of helping them with. It's just something that you're drawn to do. And there's people struggling with that are fitness people, health people. I mean, this is going to do some damage to some people, and it's going to reinvent some people, and they're going to be in a better place because of all this craziness. But there's people, it's hard enough for the average person to get up and go to the gym and do the healthy stuff. Now you got to do all that out of your home with maybe no equipment, with maybe no other people to look at for motivation because you're not at the gym, and you don't have a clue what to do. So even if we had one person come to us in the day when things were like shut down, I'm an open book. I got 20 plus years of experience of doing this. I will tell you everything I possibly can to help you carry on. We will assess your entire situation. These are the supplements that I would go with right now. Yeah, you're not deadlifting at the gym, so you don't need these, but these are absolutely going to help keep your immune system up. This is going to keep you in shape. And then just the personable aspect of it. We're small enough where we can still be customer service related. And, I want people to know my name. Every person that comes into our store, they have my phone number, they have my email. Like, I don't hide any of my information. Call me up. I can still identify our store with us. It's not like, Joe's working the front desk type of thing, and I talk to him, and, I'm behind the scenes. Like, we're right there. And, the ability to keep helping people overcome this tough time and give them some guidance or some hope is, I don't know, it's kind of that light at the end of the tunnel. Like, I'm literally looking down a tunnel. I have no depth perception. I can see the light. It's there. I just don't know where. But we're thinking outside of the box. I mean, we're talking about doing some kids programs once we're able to do that safely at parks, and, in a time where people are like, okay, that's okay for kids to be running around with each other and stuff. Because again, we're community people. My first impact is like, how does this impact my kids? Well, my kids don't have PE class. They're not doing this. They're sitting on their butts. They're playing video games all day. We need to change that, and we need to change that as a community culture. So what can we do? Because big gyms, they don't go outside of their walls.
Right.
We have the ability to do stuff as we want, and we happen to have an office with some vitamins and proteins and stuff on the shelves in there. But we work out of here, but we affect this radius of things. And that's just kind of where I feel like how we're going to be able to keep going and stuff. It's just, you just take care of people. For no other reason, I can tell you, if you do the right thing, you take care of things, in the end, things are going to be okay. And I couldn't always tell you how, but out of the blue, you impacted somebody and they come back here and they referred a friend, or they came back and did this. They got you involved with this program. I mean, I just think there's so many opportunities now once you can pull the curtain past and get it off your eyes so you can just see what's out there and just be a genuine person. If you technically ask me how to get through this, there's no equation.
Well, you actually
get you out of here.
You actually gave it the. I mean, if you just keep sowing good seeds, you're going to reap a great harvest.
Something's going to grow.
So, yeah. Trevor, any last words from you?
Yeah, I just what brings us, what I think takes us away from our competitors is the fact that we are community driven, the fact that we are doing what's best for our community. You walk into our store, you're not a dollar sign. We want to do what's best for you. I'm being educated along with on this journey. I knew nothing about supplements going into this. Again, you initially invest in a friend, a partner, whatever, and then you start learning, and that evolving of why this does this and this does this is really cool. And then when you're explaining it to somebody of why they should take this product, and they get the old aha moment, and then they come back to you and say, man, I really like this. This stuff is really working. And that you feel like you've made that change, or you're helping them on their journey, their fitness journey. And, I came into this 235 pounds when I met this dude, Steve over there knew Fat Trev, and Kyle got a little glimpse of him as well. But, we want to continue, with our brand throughout the community, whether it's school related, police related, anything that anybody needs, from us, we'll see what we can do to help out and continue getting Fit Republic Southlands out into our community. So, Kevin, thanks for having me on today.
Yeah, well, so real quick, I want to promote your business also. So tell us, if people want to check you out online, come to the store, Trevor, give us location, give us a website or whatever we need.
So the website is fitrepublicusa.com. Then they can choose our location. They can see some of our products, but we
also have fitrepublicsouthlands.com.
Yeah. And then, so we're at 6140 South Gun Club Road, K4, Unit K4, Aurora, Colorado 80016. We're off of Smoky Hill and Gun Club in that Safeway shopping center. We're right smack dab in between a wing stop and a liquor store. So,
dude, how much better could that be?
Right? Triangulated to the dispensary.
Right. And we've got some herbal remedies catty corner to us. But we're there. Right now, our hours are 12 to 6 every day, but we'll go back to some normal hours once we figure out what the heck's going on with this pandemic.
And we put a lot of information, probably stay more updated on our Facebook page, Fit Republic Southlands, and our Instagram account, FitRepublic_Southlands.
Is that where they can see you doing burpees?
That stuff's all over the place.
Okay.
But I try to merge everything together. Like I don't disassociate myself with the business. I am who I am, and that store is who we are. But all that stuff's tied together, and we're just anything that'll get information out that'll help somebody in some way. We put it out there if we think it'll help.
Okay, so we do have international listeners, and so we have people like in Uganda, we have people in Sweden as well. If they want to get some supplements from you, can they go online and do it? Can they hit you up on Facebook? I would
absolutely send me a message, and if it's at all possible, we will find a way. We've shipped stuff to St. Thomas. Apparently, we've gotten some products to Afghanistan.
I love it.
Y'all
have Jocko's products also?
We do have Jocko. You know me. Come on. Of course we got Jocko. Absolutely. And then, and if at the end of the day, if there's another way for them to take care of themselves and we cannot help them directly, I'll absolutely help you find a way to help yourself there, and we'll facilitate that network. So we're finding ways. And sometimes, again, going back to that challenge thing, like Ask me if you can get supplements to St. Thomas. Yep, we figured it out. Was there a big profit margin on it? No. But we helped somebody in St. Thomas.
Love it.
And we can claim that. So that's enough for me, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Where's the best place for people to ask you questions? They want to ask you supplement questions. They want to ask you some questions, Kyle, specifically about workouts, things like that. I know you do a ton of stuff online.
I do tons of stuff online. I run online training programs. I mean, honestly, I like to talk to people face to face is ultimately the best way, but I'm not opposed to a phone call, talking online. I've FaceTime stuff. We're learning a lot more about virtual training and just talk. I mean, you can talk to people like we're talking now. It just happens to be through a screen. So
it's crazy.
Contact me whatever way you feel works best for you, and I will figure it out. And if I'm unable to do it, I will evolve to be able to do that. So that's just how we run our business here.
Well, I love it. Well, hey guys, I want to encourage everyone wherever you are to support local business, to put your money back into the community, and then to support businesses like these guys who are then turning around and giving back to the community, whether it's the schools, what they're doing with the first responders, reaching out as well, creating new programs. So grateful for that. Just also want to thank all the first responders, people that are in uniform, people that are working in the hospitals, all the business owners, the people that own restaurants, people that are standing up, for our rights and are serving the community in any way, man. This is a time for us to come together as a community, as a band of brothers, and to be badass dads. I want to thank you guys for the example that you're setting for all of us, just in what it means to be tough, to have grit, and to be a great dad throughout the entire process. So go visit Fit Republic Southlands online, go to the store, check them out, and be a badass dad and have a badass week. And we are out. Hey guys, I want to thank you guys again just for listening to this episode of Badass Dads. Hey, if you found this episode helpful, if it's beneficial, if it's shareable, man, we'd love for you to pass it on to someone. Previous episodes you can check out on our podcast page, on iTunes, on Stitcher, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, check out our website, BadAssDads.org. That's BadAssDads.org. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram pages. So please, love the support. Check all that out. Let's get this movement going. And we are committed to forging stronger fathers. Be a part of the movement. We're out.